Right, so we're in the boot of our Rover 75, and you may remember, and if you haven't seen it, it's worth looking back on a video that I did on sorting out sort of a bad sound issue, or sound not coming through the speakers on the radio, and we removed it and checked all the contacts, and that seemed to sort it out. Well, this has got a CD changer in the boot, so what we thought we'd do is after that is just remove that and check any of the connections on that. So we've removed it out. It's the 6 CD changer that's here. So that's the one that's been fitted to this. Now I assume they probably fitted different changers due to different radios and at different times as well. This is the sticker that's on the back, if it helps you identify it. I thought I'd remove it first, and that would then let me show you how it comes out. Actually, it's quite nicely done. What you've got is a metal rack here, and we think that's probably the reverse sensor, so nothing to do with the radio system. And basically it slides in and out on this metal bracket here, and all that holds it in is these 2 bolts here. So that's one down low, and the other one's down low on the other side, and then it is just one multi-pinned plug. The only thing they appear to have done on this is use some sort of interjoining plug, because the one that was wired is the same sort of pinned end as what's on this CD unit, and this in between lead allows them to connect, which again may or may not be there. It's quite useful in this because it gives you a bit of extra lead to pull the player out. What we're going to do is just check them, which we have, and they're looking pretty clean. We're going to put a little bit of contact cleaner on there, plug them in and unplug them again a couple of times, and then put it back just to make sure there's no problems on that as well. It just gives us a little check in there to check that everything's okay. What we have done is took out the CD change with the CDs in before we removed it, just in case there was one left in there and did any damage. It sort of ejected everything out the way. Right, so what I've done is I've plugged and unplugged them, like I said, with some of the contact cleaner, just to make sure that sort of works in and cleans any dirt that might be there, but they did look pretty clean. What I did do though is make sure I unplugged and unplugged this one in, and then did it this end before I then connect it back up that end. Otherwise this unit would sort of keep coming on and off as you were connecting it, so it's well worth doing that. The other thing we have noticed is on this one, it appears the connector is not quite right, whether that was where they had to put a different CD player in, as we said, and needed this adapter wire. It's an original fitted CD player, but this plug here doesn't appear to lock. It appears that this one was designed for a sort of an inner lock, and this one was designed for kind of an outer lock under this rubber. So what we're going to do is tape that up to make sure that can't kind of come loose, and hopefully, as well as cleaning up the contacts in the radio, which sorted out a lot of the problems, this will make sure this CD player runs right and doesn't have any problems when you're sort of driving along, which can sometimes happen. So that's what we're going to do next. Then it'll be a case of putting it back in, and hopefully we've checked it's all right, and it certainly can't harm anything, it can only help. So I think it was worth doing in our case, and hopefully it's helped you to just see how this comes out. And I'll imagine whatever system was used, if it's fitted in the boot, it's going to be very, very similar to this on the 75. Right, so we've now done that, taped this up. That just makes sure that can't come undone, but I don't think that was necessarily the problem. What we have done is switched it on and tried it before we've put it back, and it's working fine, just to make sure we haven't disturbed anything. And as you can see, it's quite a nice long lead with this extension lead bit. The only problem, as I said, is that doesn't seem a very good join, so we've taped that with some insulation tape just to make sure. Now we're going to put it back in. Right, so what I've done is drop the wires over into the back. That's where the hole is, and then it is a case of just wiggling it about, and it sort of slides in and out. You need 2 hands to really do it, so I shall slide that back and then do up those little bolts there. Right, so that's the CD changer back in, and hopefully that's helped you if you are wondering how that comes out. Actually not too bad at all to get out, and I think in our case it was worth checking, although there was no real problems there. It's let us check the connections, because we did wonder whether when we got it out one of those connections may have got damp and gone that sort of corroded green sort of corrodedness you get, but it hadn't. We'll give it a little bit of a contact clean, taped at that connection to make sure it can never come loose, so it was well worth doing. As always, don't forget to check out our other videos, and of course don't forget to check out that video that we did on the radio on this, where we did cure the problem of sort of dodgy sound where those connections to the radio obviously were loose, so it's well worth checking that one out. And don't forget to look at the social media pages, the Instagram and Twitter, and don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this.